why Dracula the Musical? Okay, I get it. It's October, so don't all my October crazy Halloween people give me a hard time. I love the thought process, but Dracula and a musical, I'm
Mhm.
fascinated by it. So give us a little bit of history on that and your why.
Okay, so I was talking to somebody who's not like a music person the other day about this, and they had reminded me that there's a scene in the movie Saving Sarah Marshall where they're in a bar doing karaoke and like making fun of the idea of Dracula being a musical, which I had forgotten existed. But I think that's really a great point of reference to say, like, yeah, that is sort of interesting to think about Dracula being a musical, right? But when we look at a lot of different themes that are used as musicals, a lot of different literary sort of archetypes, and I, my whole life, have been a vampire nerd. I can remember being like maybe six. And I think about this a lot because I have a 6 year old now. But I remember being in my dad's like tan Ford Explorer and him listening to the Bram Stoker Dracula like on tapes. And so one of the scenes where David as Dracula is yelling at the guys like "you creeping jackals." I can remember listening to that as a very small child, and so I've sort of been a vampire nerd my whole life. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer was my favorite show as like a preteen. I have watched it as an adult over and over again. Vampire Diaries, True Blood is one of my favorite shows, and then I really just like the way we see Dracula sort of combine this glamour with this horror and also this like darkness with like also like this like love and seduction. I love all of that. And I think I'm not alone in that. I also think when we talk about like the mission of these companies, Dracula is something that's an approachable theme that somebody might not maybe go to the theater a lot, but be like, oh my gosh, I love vampires. I love Dracula. That might welcome somebody to a set otherwise might not have decided to go see a show. And so I think it really fits in both with our mission, but also with what we love.